Hello everyone, my name is Helga and you're on my anime channel. Today I decided to film my top 10 anime of one of my favorite genres, which is romance. Of course, most anime have a mix of genres. However, in my list, I'm gonna include the ones where romance is the prevalent theme. I hope you were looking for some romance anime recommendations. If so, give this video a thumbs up and let's go. We're going to go from my number 10 to number 1, and the 10th position goes to Peach Girl. I have a love-hate relationship with this anime because on the one hand it was quite easy and entertaining to watch, while on the other I was constantly annoyed by the actions of both the main love interests. Peach Girl is a school romance with a love triangle between a girl and two boys. The girl is unusually tanned, whereas, as you may know, most Japanese girls usually try to look as pale as possible. Because of this, she has the bad reputation of being a slut. I think it's quite difficult to understand this kind of discrimination for a Western viewer, although anyone who was bullied in high school for their appearance can relate. So, if this sounds relatable to you, you might actually enjoy it, but be prepared to hate the hell out of the character's stupidity. Number 9 is Hana Yori Dango, aka Boys Over Flowers, which is a 90s romance manga adaptation. It's also a love triangle slash reverse harem show set in high school. The main character of the show is a girl from a poor family that somehow got into a school for privileged kids. So those kids start to bully her. And in my opinion, some of the bullying scenes were too extreme and hard to watch. Apart from this, it was a fun experience for me, although I found the ending to be quite dumb. By the way, this manga also has a number of live action adaptations, and I've seen the Korean one and liked it a lot. The ending in it was a bit more logical, so I can definitely recommend it to you too. Number 8 is a 2017 series, Love and Lies, that I put into this list mostly because of its premise. The thing is, when I was about 13 to 14 years old, I wrote an idea of a story in which young people would be forced to marry a partner chosen for them by the government. And it was supposed to be about how they would adapt to the situation and whether it's possible to fall in love with someone you were forced to live with. So when I heard about an anime with this premise coming out, I was surprised to say the least. Unfortunately, the execution of this idea in Love and Lies turned out to be quite poor. I was expecting a much more complex plot with some thought-provoking scenes, but it was pretty mundane. And do I need to mention that saliva in the kissing scenes? How do you guys feel about it? I personally find it revolting. That's why I can't recommend this anime to anyone. I'll just say that if you like the premise, maybe it will be interesting for you to check it out. But what I can recommend 100% is the opening sequence or the song from it because it's just mesmerizing. Number 7 on my list is Paradise Kiss. It's based on the manga created by Ayazawa, the author of Nana. Nana is one of my most favorite anime titles of all time, but I couldn't include it in this list because, in my opinion, the main theme isn't romance. In Nana, such themes as friendship and music are a little bit more prominent. Whereas in Paradise Kiss, the main character gets involved into clothing design and modeling business, but these things serve as only a background for romantic relationships. I personally like Paradise Kiss for its atmosphere more than the actual plot, but if you're a romance fan, I think you should definitely watch it. On the 6th position of my list, there is an anime that I never actually hear about from other people. It's called A Summer Snow Rendezvous, and it tells a story of a young guy who falls in love with a widowed owner of a small flower store. He decides to get a part-time job at the store in order to get the owner's attention, but starts being followed by the ghost of her husband. It's a very nice, heartwarming story about letting go of your past while still keeping memories about it in your soul. So, if you haven't seen it, and I suppose lots of people haven't, I can definitely recommend you do so. The next title on my list is also quite underrated, and it's called Say I Love You. Now this, as you can guess from its name, is a 100% romance show. It can be quite slow-paced, but unlike most of the shows that I mentioned at the beginning of this video, this one portrays a really healthy romantic relationship with a love interest that truly cares about the protagonist. That's why I put it so high on the list. So if you are a hardcore romance fan, you will definitely enjoy it. My number 4 is Dom I Cant Tabulate. It's an anime set in a music university that tells a story about two musicians. One is a neurotic perfectionist, a violin player that expects everything to be early and perfect. The other is a happy-go-lucky girl with a perfect ear for music. This anime also shows the world of classical music, but the romantic theme is very prominent as well. I love both topics, so this title expectedly became one of my favorites. The next title is Wolf Girl and Black Prince. Now this one can be a little controversial. It's about a girl who is blackmailed by a guy from her school. He forces her to kind of become his slave in exchange for him pretending to be her boyfriend. So as you can guess, the relationship at the beginning of the show is quite problematic. But as the show progresses, both characters grow into showing the good parts of their personalities, so I wouldn't be too intimidated by this weird premise. My number 2, I think, is a very well-known show called Maid Someone. It tells a story about a girl who has to live a kind of double life of a respected class president at school and a waitress in a maid cafe. Apart from being a well-written romance story, this is also a comedy, and I found it hilarious. I think this one is a good start for falling in love with the romance genre, as most people can enjoy it. And finally, number 1 on my list, aka an anime that I watched all in one sitting, is Lovely Complex. The main characters of the show consist of a girl that is very tall and a boy that is quite short. They always argue with each other, and that creates a lot of funny situations. It maybe doesn't sound so exciting, but trust me, it is. The set of characters is so likable, and most situations are so relatable that you can't help but get engaged in the story. It's also a good start for anime fans that are afraid of being bored while watching a romantic show. So guys, these were my romance anime recommendations, and now I'll be waiting for yours. Please leave in the comments below the titles that you would recommend for me to check out. I'm definitely interested in finding my new favorites. Also, subscribe to this channel for more anime related videos, and I hope to see you all soon. Bye!